I'm not waiting any longer. We have 5 minutes until the hour, and then we have an hour until I'm supposed to end. And I'm out of water, which is peachy. Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Under Construction. Why am I 2 hours late? Well, because Trainz decided to update. We are now on build 119450. I have no idea what the changes are. I don't know if anything's going to work. I don't know if anything's fixed. I don't know if anything's broken. I just know that we're here, and I'm trying to load back into Tollbrand. I did speak with someone on the N3V Discord servers, in fact, two someones on the N3V Discord server, about the problem with coupling. I mean, Mopag, you're still allowed to work on your route. You can do whatever you want. I can't stop you. You could work and listen. I mean, I don't know. That's my 2 cents. I can barely work on my route, as it turns out, and I definitely can't do. You don't have to update. I just didn't think it would take an hour and a half. It just asked me, "Hey, you get a Trainz update. You want to do it?" And I went, "Yeah, sure, why not?" That was a mistake. I've made bigger mistakes, but that was a mistake. Why is my compass looking like this again? Hold on. Settings. Interface settings. Show compass in 3D view. Where's my, general settings? Where's the thing to change the compass? Because my compass looks crappy now. Interface settings. No. I guess I can turn this back on, but enable locomotive breakdowns. I don't know where my settings are. Where my setting is. Maybe they removed that. Did they remove that? Missing assets, debug features, enable internal camera, show camera location, undo redo, show performance statistics, multiplayer, screenshots. No. Compass behavior, field of view, compass speed. I mean, am I going to have to get used to this now? Because I don't really like it. I feel like that's unimportant right now, though, because we really need to get some work done while we're here. Either way, I mean, everything seems okay. Nothing seems broken. Like I was saying when we just got started, I have had a talk with someone in sort of the N3V staff about my problems with the... my problems with trains clipping through each other while they're trying to couple. Which apparently is not something that's happening to only me, which doesn't really surprise me. But what does surprise me is that well, it's not really a surprise so much as it is a disappointment. The reason that they believe that things are not working for me is because my hardware is not good enough. And that is understandable. I mean, I have heard a report from at least one person who has tried to run this route that disabling the AI helped their performance immensely. And I didn't really think about why, because I felt, oh, you know, it must be unoptimized. Yeah, it's a skill issue. But I think the takeaway is that the game really works to do the physics for every train. And the more trains you have that are moving, the more that you're asking the game to do. And I'm pretty sure that's all done on the GPU side. And the GPU is, yeah, it's my bottleneck, and also it's my problem child. I mean, this 480 that TBA gave me, he always said it was a concern of his, that it was the thing causing his crashes. And I haven't figured out what exactly is causing my crashes. I know that I cannot play certain games, otherwise my computer crashes. Games in that list are BioShock Remastered and, oh god, what is that one? The Epic Ultimate Battlegrounds or something like that, where you're like a stick man. You know the one. That those two sort of present problems for me because they crash my whole computer, and I haven't figured out why, and I haven't figured out how to stop it. So, stands to reason that maybe it is the graphics card. Maybe TBA was right about his own computer problems, which is a reasonable thing to sort of hope to be right about, I guess. 4M standard bump, and yeah, if he was right, and if that is the problem, I actually should be getting in a new graphics card fairly soon, thanks to one of my lovely subscribers, but more than a subscriber, he's a very good friend now. If I just called him a subscriber, I'd be shortchanging Bender, who is not here right now, but if he does show up, I gotta thank him, and no matter what, I'm gonna thank him, like, profusely anyway, especially if this does, in fact... Hello, comrades. Especially if this does make the difference, you know? Which way are these rows pointing? Oh, hi, Bender. Yeah, if this thing does make the difference, that's going to be huge for my ability. You mean Rail of War? Okay, so story time for everyone that isn't Graham or TJ, or at least isn't, or at least, hold on. This way? This way. No. I'm just trying to get it lined up with this. Okay, well, you know what? Maybe it wouldn't. Maybe it would take more than 2 hours for me because I'm not apparently not very good at that game. So we're not doing like a speed run off in Rail of War. But if you guys don't remember Rail of War from your childhood, it was a Flash game where you drive a train through a battlefield and shoot at stuff, and it had a demo that was on most of the like Flash game websites where you would get the first 2 levels, I think. And um yeah, I found, well, I didn't find, but I was the one ballsy enough to click the link on a video that said you can download the full versions here, which seemed like sketchy as hell, even though all the comments were like, yeah, yeah, absolutely, you can do it. Um, yeah, there was a free download on YouTube, and it had all the levels, and I started playing it earlier, and I got to the second level, and then I died. Not totally on purpose, but not totally by accident either, because I needed to go leave to do under construction. Of course, hindsight's 2020, I could have played the game for another 2 hours, and apparently, according to Graham, beaten it. But I decided to come and do this, or try to play the game instead, and instead I sat here for, 2 hours while it updated. So, Ellis plays Russian roulette with YouTube links. I mean, that's what people were making it out to be. I was just like, I've got an antivirus. I don't, why do I need to? Why wouldn't I? I'm gonna click this button. Like, what's the worst that can happen? You know, I feel like I'm generally technically savvy. Like, I would be able to figure my way out of trouble if I clicked on it and like my computer got infested with viruses or something. Uh, I feel like I would be able to figure my way out of that. It wouldn't be the first time, necessarily. I mean, I've had issues of computers getting crippled by viruses before. Uh, Not really recently, but a long, long time ago, when I was in high school, I had a pretty nasty virus on my laptop. And, I was taught how to deal with that, and, go into safe mode and get an antivirus program, or run your antivirus program if you already have one, um, and just clear the thing out. And yeah, that's not foolproof; it doesn't work 100% of the time, but it will work most of the time. All right, I'm actually gonna have this parcel come down like here, perpendicular to the road. The point is, I knew it wasn't gonna kill me, and I just wanted to know. It's one of these great unknowns. What's gonna happen? Uh, Hello, Mew. How you doing? I hope the delay helped you, cause sure didn't help me. Also, for anyone and everyone who cares, which is nobody probably, You are now looking at the new president of the Providence Northern Model Railroad Club. I didn't ask for this. I made my objections very clear. Uh, but you know what? That's I'm the president now. So gotta deal with that. Gotta live with that. It's only for a year. Maybe somebody else will step up afterward. I don't have a secretary. I need a secretary kind of badly. Um, Someone was willing to step in as the acting secretary, which is very kind of them, but I feel like they really ought to know that acting becomes secretary very quickly. Stellar, you don't have to tell me twice. You don't have to tell me twice. As if my life has not been stressful enough already. Um, but you got to do what you got to do. Also, I never put the link in the thing. Can somebody throw the stream link in streaming and recording if it hasn't happened already? I just sort of jumped right into this. And by someone, like, if it doesn't happen in, like, 20 seconds, I'll tell someone to do it. Actually, Bender, I trust you. Can you do it? Um, Actually, there you go. You can serve me in my presidency. Is anyone willing to move to Rhode Island and become the secretary of the Providence Northern? Please. I know TJ's probably here, and he just got out of Rhode Island, so... Aside from some light insurance fraud, but, that's, what's a little insurance fraud among friends? Just kidding, that's a joke. Um, what the hell was I gonna say? Speaking of insurance fraud, actually, no, this is not about to be me admitting to a federal crime. Mopac, can you live? Oh, no, it was not Mopac. Graham, can you live with me? I don't know. Maybe. Can you? I thought you were trying to go to Alaska again. This is the wrong direction. And, yes, but you have to... I don't know. You have to do something to put you over a barrel. In some way, shape, or form. What is Graham's, like... What would be the test? I like my upstate New York farming community too much. Yeah, I'm sure it's nice up there. Upstate New York, Buffalo's about to get like 70 inches of snow, isn't it? I'm kind of jealous. Anywhere that's not New Mexico. Well, you have to say prayers in front of. God damn it! I can't write within the lines apparently. You have to say prayers in front of Cthulhu's grave every week or whatever. Just around, yeah. I got the full Rail of War. It works. It's kind of a small screen, but that's the way it goes. Working on a HO caboose. It's storming for them. I'm so freaking jealous. I watched a top 10 worst governors video. Not a single Rhode Island governor was on it. I mean, that's kind of disappointing, but at the same time, we're not known for our necessarily horrendously terrible governors. I mean, Gina Raimondo is our last governor, and she was okay. Like, not outrageously terrible. I feel like Rhode Island is not necessarily a state that politically invites absurdity, I guess. We had the most corrupt mayor in the country in our capital city, but that's a horse of a different color. I feel like because the state is, or at least has historically been, so split for a New England state, and New England and all states have an urban-rural divide. Some states it's less present, some states it's more present. You would be really surprised at the amount of urban-rural divide that exists in Rhode Island, considering how small it is. But it sort of comes with the territory of you stop being urban after driving for about 10 minutes tops. I'm working this reefer and finally getting there. Would any of the roads use them? PRR50B, let me look that up. Express reefer. So my first and most important question is, because I probably would use them, is what commodities does it support? Because if I could see it being used by the Gilson Eastern, Zion and Skyline, and possibly the New Shoreham tramway. Um, Also, maybe on run through traffic on the other ones. Probably not on the Gilson Eastern. Um, they would have no use for an express reefer. Or sorry, probably not on the VMR. They would have no use for an express reefer. We need more parking. Yeah, I know. Well, honestly, no, not really, because I would just have to clear the garage out. Because I can fit 3 in the driveway and 1 in the garage. So, you know, if you only brought 1 car, Graham, we would be able to fit. But otherwise, this town ain't big enough for the 2 of us. Otherwise, one of us can park at the top of the street. We can leave cars at the top of the street. I mean, I don't know if that's strictly allowed. I don't know if that would end up getting towed. I don't really know the people who live at the top of the street. But, express tram reefer. No, I mean, the New Shoreham tramway might have express reefers, but they probably wouldn't own any. They would probably make use of them to get stuff out into the suburbs, but I don't know if they would own any. The Gilson Eastern going intercity, and the Zion and Skyline going interlarge city. E-brake ain't that good. They would have more use for an express reefer. I could see them both having them. So yeah, I mean, maybe that is sort of a thing to think about. Uh-oh. He's over here. He's sleeping. Or he was napping.
He used to go in the crate.
What did he do?
You tore up a tissue on the bed.
Lafayette. Not a good boy.
You're not a good boy.
When the hell did he do that?
I don't know. I was gonna go fold the laundry, and there it was. Go in the crate.
They support orange pallet milk cans. That's really good. General goods, which is fine. Fruit and veg. Ooh, fruit and vegetables. Eggs crated. Cheese pallet, apple pallet, butter pallet. Actually, hold on a second. No self-propelled version. That's a trolley. Be warned, white pass mapping is whack. I think Bender is figuring that one out. Let me go into my sheet really quick. Where's my industries and balance sheet? Here, you guys can come with me for this. Boop. Freight cars and loads. So let me read those off again. Orange pallet, milk cans 20 gallons. So orange pallet, I think we already have. Milk cans 20 gallons we have. Orange pallet's right there. Fruit and vegetables. Which we don't have. And actually, I mean, fruit pallet is probably fine. Fruit and vegetables, eggs crated 13 dozen. I don't know if I have that. No, I don't have eggs, which would be an interesting one to use. Eggs crated 13 dozen. Cheese pallet, apple pallet, butter pallet. So, cheese pallet, we have that. Apple pallet, we have that. And then butter pallet is up here, or would be up here. We do have butter pallet. So, the things this brings in are the fruit and vegetable, which is fine. I'm not really about adding too many more commodities at this point. No interurban reefer streetcars. Interurban reefer with a pantograph on it. Yeah. Sorry. Let me get back to the correct view. There we go. Back to doing some farm fields. Oh, I need to mark out the edge of these fields better. I swear to God. Don't start with this. I actually probably want to bring the edge of this down a little bit, but I don't think I'm going to. I don't really care too much how these end up looking. Sarah trailer pretty easily. We don't need this. We don't. Stop. You know what? I think I am going to make it go the other way. Sorry, I lost track. Yeah, I don't think it's super important that we're adding new commodities at this stage. We have plenty of commodities, unless we find something that really sticks out as being useful and unique. We just need to make use of the other ones that we've got. I would like to have more industrial commodities, though. I would like to make use of more industrial commodities, because we have stuff like the different fluids and things like that. You know, I sort of have to look at games like OpenTTD or Locomotion and and the other Tycoon games and go, okay, like what are good commodities to have out here? Um, and the thing that I like thus far, the thing, Mopac, uh, the thing that I like thus far is that the trains we're putting together are decently varied and interesting and good. If anything, they're short on boxcars, and that's because I'm so hesitant to do general goods as a shipped commodity. But as we get into other areas, I feel like that's going to become more like some more common, I guess. We need to have more shopping centers. We need to have more warehouse parks. We just haven't really built a place that's suitable for that yet. 2 Foot on Tolbrand is coming. Uh, I talked about this a couple of episodes ago. We can make a brief detour if you want the abridged version. Um, Vehicles be something cars were boxcars were dominant at this point with special build auto racks coming into force. Autos? I wasn't thinking of having an auto plan. I know that's something that's a staple of a lot of model railroads and a staple of a lot of virtual model railroads. I just hadn't thought about it. I think we do have something that carries automobiles. Let me check my list. Um Actually, we have automobile engine is what it is. Which I was planning on making a factory for automobile engines somewhere on this route. But as far as stuff goes, automobile engines have sort of been a stand-in for auto parts in general on the route so far. In fact, there's a boxcar of automobile engines that gets dropped off at the intermodal facility in Olive, and the reason for that is because it's supposed to be they have maybe a parts store or some such thing, mechanics place, and I know I didn't put a garage in there, but uh, something for the truckers, you know, and also this edge, and I'm gonna try to line it up so it's gonna be like that. I want it to be more or less perpendicular with this, which I think it is. It's pretty perpendicular. Yeah, that's pretty much as good as it's gonna get, huh? Make a nuclear power plant. Yeah, that would be something similar. Would be to import the vehicles from portals. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. Um, if I had a car that did cars already, I would probably give that a lot more thought. I'm not shooting it down like in total right now, but I'm just sort of gonna table that. I don't know if it's hmm, I don't know. I don't know yet. It's a good thought. Uh, Factory that produces major parts. Yeah, and I think I probably will because of what we're doing with the auto parts or the auto engines. Um, it's nice to see people thinking about this though. I love to hear it, even if I don't end up going with a given idea. I really appreciate you guys throwing ideas at me. I'm sorry that I can't take all of them or that I won't for reason A or reason B, but I really do appreciate people sort of getting involved and throwing ideas out there. Um, yeah, and maybe making auto parts and shipping them off the map, like if we make an excess of them, uh, then having cars come in off that same side might be a good idea. Maybe New DMag has a God damn it, Graham, uh, has an auto plant, and most of the parts are made in uh, in Zion, where the steel mill is, and then you go to New DMag to ship them out, or to combine them into automobiles, and then you bring them back out of the map and distribute them, and then um, actually something that could be maybe New DMag uh, does not have a deep water port. So cars coming for export have to come back onto the map and then go somewhere else, either Gilson City or one of the other ports. Which would be an interesting thing where you get these long, very high priority unit trains of cars. Did somebody put the thing in the thing? I see a. Put. Oh, you both did. Well enough. Maybe Sherbert. Okay. Hold on. I just want to go back to streaming and recording to make sure that I've got that on board. I want to go through this. I want to check these things. All right. And I'm still on the wrong channel. All right, there we go. There we go. Sorry about that distraction. Labor not contributing profit. People are doing good work. Not much news on the Class 1 Meltdown front, actually. We've got a podcast coming up this weekend, and that I do hope that sort of we get some more news on that front before then. We have heard that a couple of the unions are rejecting the contract. Haven't really heard much about the big guys yet, but it's, the wheels are turning slowly. I mean, the midterms are over. They can't postpone things for too much longer. Hi, Matt. The midterms are over. I don't really want to, we don't really need to get into politics, but some things happened that were a little bit unexpected. I mean, if you follow politics, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, you probably don't care. So, on the other end of the auto supply chain, what about an auto train like service for commuters? I don't think somebody ping Ian, but I don't remember when the auto train began, but I feel like this would be too early, and there probably isn't the market for it. Because you need there to be enough of the market for it that somebody goes out on a limb and actually spends the money to build the terminals, and yeah. I don't think doing an auto train is that would be fun, but that'd be fun to model and fun to set up. Yes, baby.
So I just was reading the news, right?
Uh oh.
And several of my high school's football players were suspended from any football activities for bullying and or hazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, what would be the hazing for Graham if he were to live with us? What would we have to make him do?
Why does Graham want to live with us?
I need a secretary, right? And I threw out in the chat. I just said, hey, if anyone wants to move to Rhode Island and be my secretary at the Providence Northern, because I really need one. And Graham is like, anywhere but New Mexico. What would?
Graham would obviously have to pay rent.
Well, yeah, that's not fun.
Uh,
Like something funny.
Something funny.
Yeah, he'd have to. He's got a hot wiener eating contest. I don't know who against, but I'm not looking for serious answers.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know Graham like that. I mean,
Rent equals hazing, says Graham.
I don't know. Take the dog for a walk.
You have to scoop the cat.
You have to scoop
Yeah.
the poops.
Scoop the poops. It's not.
I don't know. I'm not a bully.
He's gonna go bop the big blue bug on the nose, says Matt.
Yeah, go, poop nibbles.
Matt, I think the only word we need is sacrifice. Or so, please give me the ceremonial dagger.
No.
Graham, what are we cutting off of you? Pick something. Ellis, we've been over this. Rhode Island isn't real. I know it isn't real. I'm not
I have
real.
Some news for you.
Oh no.
We're getting snow. 50% chance of snow.
That's not we're getting. That's we might be getting.
We might be getting snow next Friday.
That's too far out.
Oh, relax.
There's no way it's gonna happen. I'm not gonna have the. I didn't get sacrificed at Old North Church. Yes, thank you. Is this all? It's got like gunk on it from cutting open envelopes. Need to have it sharpened again. Excuse me.
So the story behind this actually, this box, this letter opener, is it was my aunt Sandra's, and it was given to my cousin Brittany, but then my grandmother took it back and gave it to Ellis because Ellis likes pineapples.
You're saying it like she took it back and then
Well,
gave it to me. No,
well,
it was like
Brittany,
sitting in her apartment
yeah,
for.
Brittany left it at my grandmother's house when Brittany moved out, and she was like, "Well, I'll have this now." I mean, it was her sister's to begin with.
Oh, fun fact, I did computer modifications. You can't see it, but there is a car side view mirror taped to the top of my monitor so that I can see the television without turning my head.
So he doesn't hurt his neck.
It's, well, yeah, it's...
Oh, I got Disney Plus back.
Oh, okay, that's good. What are we going to use that for?
The game plan.
What's the game plan?
The one with the rock.
Oh, right.
The Princess Bride's also on there. I know we have it on
Yeah.
DVD, but...
I don't know. Going to watch a movie that I already own on DVD on a streaming service is like, I don't know what it is, but it feels like adding insult to injury. I don't know
That's
what
we did for Dinosaur, and I have it on VHS.
Yeah, but it wasn't here. It was. I didn't know you had it on VHS. Did you even know the VHS still existed?
I knew it was at somewhere.
You knew it was somewhere.
Yeah, I knew it was somewhere.
I know my old, I know my dad's old
Look at this relic.
keychain dongle.
Here.
It's a VHS tape. Who would have thought? I watched 2 videos on.
No, don't show that. Don't show that.
Would it not to be touched by anyone, even sunset? Is that what it's supposed to say?
Yeah.
The good folks at home know what a VHS tape is, but I watched videos on Laserdisc today. I have a coworker who has a similar setup. A car side mirror below his monitor he uses to see anyone coming up behind him. Why is he worried about people coming up behind him? I have committed the financial damage and got a KDGB-40. That's cool. VHS copy of The Phantom Menace. No, it's a VHS copy of Dinosaur.
Dinosaur.
We did an episode on Dinosaur.
We did.
My boyfriend people love Laserdisc. That's such a weird thing to love, but alright. It's a neat technology. It was, sort of ahead of its time. Or like ludicrously far ahead of its time. To the point where it was just useless. Even though it was not, it wasn't like all that expensive. There's at least one copy of Blade Runner on Laserdisc. That sounds pretty cool. Laserdisc is a defunct format that predates VHS. It's a giant vinyl record sized DVD, basically. Yeah, big DVD. You know what's really funny?
You're not really.
One of my first introductions to the existence of Laserdisc as a concept is that in the Portal 2 co-op, you have to go into Aperture, or into abandoned areas of Aperture at different periods throughout the game and find laser discs. And you look at them and it's these giant DVDs and you're going, what the hell is this? And then you learn that it's an actual thing. I'm gonna go with this just so we've got all of this. Yeah, it's something. It's crazy. Yes, baby? No. Yeah, no, I know what you meant. Why, are you being judged by the dog? Okay. I'll be fine. Alright, I'm gonna do something before I get in trouble. So glad we have Blu-ray. Man, who has ever said that in the history of Blu-ray. Um, it shows your age. I mean, I don't expect anyone under the age of 50 to remember what a Laserdisc is. I bet a lot of our parents probably never even saw one. They weren't that popular, is the thing. They sort of flew under the oh, you know what? Let's not make the same mistake a zillionth time, and let's draw the grass in first. Um, Judge Dog the sentencing. Uh, yeah, I don't think even a lot of our parents necessarily knew what a laserdisc was or know what a laserdisc is. I'll run a test, and maybe we should all run tests. I mean, assuming that everyone here is more or less my age. I know that a lot of folks are a little bit younger. Um, but can snap. It holds a lot more content. Blu-ray, yeah, it is a step up from DVDs, but uh, it's just like Blu-ray as a concept or as like a format almost came a little too late. DVDs had caught on and nobody was really moving on from that, and streaming was starting up. You know, by the time Blu-rays sort of became the de facto way to do physical media, you're already you're on Netflix. You're not buying Blu-rays. You're not buying physical media anymore. Really at all. And I know that there are advantages to Blu-ray, and I know there are still people that do buy physical media. I mean, I'm one of them. I buy DVDs because they're wicked cheap now. And I buy like physical. I buy CDs and stuff because I throw them on my iPod. But I'm a weirdo, and I know that. But what I'm trying to say is, are we even gonna have? Yeah, you know what? Um, I didn't finish this part of the terrain, and this area is not going to be um, necessarily farmed, like up this way. I mean, what is up this way? You're just heading towards some of the mountain cities. Now I gotta pull up the map. Um, where is it? It's under pictures, maps, which is M, Tolbrind, and then the most recent paint.net image. Um, I totally agree. I like physical media. I'm just saying, like, Blu-rays as a concept came a little too late to do very much in that arena. Um, TJ's someone who actually knows what he's talking about is here. Uh, guys, we can't BS anymore. Uh, all right, I've got to do the grass along the edges here before I go any further. I'd see a stellar. Um, yeah, I'm gonna just keep on going. I think. After 10, if I feel like I'm on a roll, this is a nice escape from like the. Normally, doing under construction can be kind of a chore, and I'm not gonna lie about that. It is. Oh, add vertex failed. Who would have thunk? Uh, it is an effort. It's a Thursday evening that I have to set aside every Thursday, and because root building isn't necessarily super fun for me anymore, but sometimes it is. You know, if I'm honest, root building was never super fun for me in the first place. I was never much of a detailer. I was never much of like a sort of fiddly bits oriented guy. It sort of drops off for me when it's you know the return on investment of time spent versus how good something looks sort of drops off pretty quick to me. Um, you bought a gift that like only one specific type of DVD player can play. What? You're gonna have to elaborate on that because I don't remember this story if you've told it to me before. Um, did you buy something for like the wrong no, the region wouldn't be one specific DVD player. I feel like we're changing Mavericks the Mavericks jacket. What? But this has been a nice reprieve. It's a nice reprieve. I don't have to worry about anything. I have an excuse to not pay attention to anything. Uh, I can just sit here and friggin' draw grass and chit chat to the audience. So you know what? I'll be here for a while. Probably, possibly. I mean, I want to get back to watching Stargate, and I want to get in bed at a reasonable time tonight because I haven't been able to do that recently. Partially my own fault, partially not, if you ask me. But you know, finally getting to bed at a reasonable time means I can get up when I'm supposed to get up, and then I can take the bus to work, or at least try that out, because I've been really wanting to try that out. There's your thing, Graham. You get to take the bus. Um, well, Matt, I don't mean it to be like a lament. It's just this. I know I'm working towards an end, and that's what's worth it to me. It's not about, oh, it's an obligation. I've got to sit down and make under construction. It's I've got to sit down and work on that thing that I need to go work on my mega project. And I feel like anyone who's done anything can understand that pushing yourself to do a thing because you want the goal at the end of it is just fine. It's a normal thing. And yeah, I like making under construction more than I like root building. There's a reason I don't do scenery off camera. You can still touch the virtual grass. Yeah. Uh, I just don't love doing the scenery part of it. If all I had to do was build railroad tracks and then automate stuff, I would be golden. I would be happy as can be. Um, you know, if I had like a team that followed me around and did the freaking scenery, uh, that would be marvelous. It would save me all sorts of time and whatever. But of course, I can't let anyone do that because I'm paranoid. Number one, and number two, MPS isn't there yet. Uh, I'm paranoid and overly controlling, so I can't have anyone building out scenery for me. I just am gonna be like, no, do this, no, do this, no, do this. I'm gonna end up micromanaging the people that are. I'm gonna spend more time doing that than I would just building it myself, and that's my own damn fault. But that's why this is my mega project and not a collaborative effort, because I feel like I'm either 0 or 100. Um, I'm either you know what? I'm hands off. You do whatever you want to do, or like no. Let me yeah, okay, yeah, no, do it this way. No, try like this. Maybe this would be better. You know, I'm a sucker for micromanaging. It's not my greatest trait. Um, and I'm trying to let I'm trying to set that aside. Um, and part of me tries to set that aside by setting like specific sort of rules and regulations around doing a specific thing. Like if I have a goal in mind or an activity in mind, you sort of set up your rules, your governing sort of statutes to nudge people in the direction of doing the thing. And it isn't a super great example, but I talked about OpenTTD, and I talked about it during the stream of like I went out and I found some mods and I found some rule changes I could make that would make it more palatable to use a certain play style. Whereas the typical OpenTTD is, okay, I'm going to start making money as fast as possible, and then I'm going to be building as fast as I possibly can, because I will immediately run into a situation where I cannot build fast enough to deplete my cash reserves. And it's like I don't really like that gameplay, and I don't really like how that turns out. So I'm going to try to put something together to make sure that doesn't happen, or at least nudge people in a different direction, so that we have some more emergent gameplay, which I think will be better in the long run. And some people like that, and some people didn't, and that's fair. My ideas aren't perfect. Sometimes they aren't good, but I'm trying to, I look at a thing, I have a certain goal in mind for what the thing is going to be like in the end, and then I try to tailor it that way, instead of just like coaching every individual person and every individual moment on what I think would be best for the outcome that I think is best. Um, you know, it's not a wonderful trait of mine to want to micromanage in the way that I do, but that's that's something to work on. You know, I need to be able to let go of what people want to do, like on their own, and I just need to enjoy my stuff for my stuff and for like amuse myself on what I'm doing, instead of not having fun because someone else is doing something else. That's you know that's something that I have to work on. That doesn't mean that necessarily that I want to step back from sort of masterminding games, because I know I equated it to OpenTTD, and that's again sort of a different story than trying to collaboratively build something. But the closest thing I can genuinely think of is probably like the Iron Horseman Chronicles, where I had a pretty I've had I what can I say? I was the showrunner. I was the lore master. I tried to make sure all the characters were always consistent and tried to make sure that the world was always consistent and that everything in it made sense. And sometimes I put too much pressure on people to make that happen. To play on the server's multiplayer sessions, must it be the one gotten through Steam? No, actually. You can get the regular one, it just has to be the right version. I was recommending people get it through Steam because it automatically puts you on the right version. So you just don't have to worry about re-downloading it. It just makes life a little bit easier. And honestly, I didn't even know it was on Steam. I was on the wrong version, and I was given this very advice. But yeah, I'm not about to step back from masterminding games, because that isn't really what I'm talking about when it comes to micromanagement. Uh, when it comes to micromanagement, the Iron Horseman Chronicles is a little bit closer. But even then, I did learn to step back from some of the details that, frankly, I did not care about. The editing, of which I did a lot, but I didn't really care about. The voice editing, same thing. Um, I wasn't going to expend the effort to nitpick all the other stuff when I have my own stuff to nitpick. Speaking of which, if anyone's curious, the Q&A is coming, but my coal is broken. So I need to have that fixed if anybody's willing to help me out with that at some point. Not like this week, because I'm too freaking busy. But I did say we would do a Q&A in like a week, and much more time than a week has gone by. So I need to get on that. I'm painfully aware, but it's not going to just sit by the wayside. If anything, it's just giving me more time to it's giving people more time to get questions in. And yeah, I'm sure we'll be doing more OpenTTD in the future as well. Not even just like inside and outs of community playdates, because people want to get into the later years, and I think that with the rule set that we have starting in 1910, like we've been doing, is actually a really good idea, because it gives you time. But what the hell? I don't want that to ever happen. Why would I want this to happen? Trainz! I don't need you adding more tiles for me. When I copy paste stuff over the line, I'm putting stuff over the edge so that it's deleted. Alright, well, I guess we'll just delete this tile afterward. But yeah, I'm still going to be making games. But yeah, I mean, the Iron Horseman Chronicles taught me a lot about when to sort of intervene in the creative process and when to not. Again, I'm still not great at it, but I don't feel like I've really had a time where I could share that example. I mean, I've done some side work with folks that are working on similar or even dissimilar things, and sometimes I do, yes, I get carried away with my recommendations. Um, but I don't necessarily know. I mean, people ask for the advice. They can say, no, I don't really want to be running somebody else's program or writing somebody else's book. Uh, but if you give me an idea, I really struggle to not run with it. It adds a new tile when copy pasting, and I'm not cool with it. um, it is pretty cool. It is cool. I'm just not. I don't. I don't know about this. I don't know about this change. Um, I can't have the route getting any bigger until I get the new computer parts. I can't. It's crazy. It's breaking. You're breaking my car, Samir. Um, and I'm when I do get the new parts, I'm gonna have to install them. I'm gonna have to figure out what the I freaking hate this. I'm gonna have to figure out what to do with all of the other parts that I will have and what to make with them. I mean, I could throw this graphics card in something that's never going to have anything struggle on it, but I would really like to give it to Gloria. But if it causes this many problems, like if it does this with, say, The Sims 4, which is something that Gloria likes to play on their computer, if it just crashes the computer every time, then that's no good. Can't do that. So I'm doing the edge so I can delete all the tiles together. Another tile, yay! Um, oh wait, where's the edge of? Okay, it's right here. There we go. Anyway, sorry. So I don't really want to stick this in their computer because it might start causing trouble, but at the same time, it will be, by quite a margin, the second best graphics card I have on the property. If anybody is getting rid of computer parts, let me know. I am a one-stop depository for any and all useless old pieces of tech that you're not going to use in your new gaming rig. I will turn them into something not beautiful, but something that works. With the new mirror on the computer, you can say your PC is 30% cars and purely functionality based. That's a good question. Um, it's not 30% car. It's maybe like 5% car. And no, I wouldn't say it's functionality based because it's just bits, you know. Uh, if if you add like if you add a grill to your, if you take a Volvo grill and stick it on your Jeep, right? You could say your Jeep is some percent Volvo because it has a part from it. So, by that logic, it's not a functional part, it's just a grill. You could remove it and it would work just the same. Uh, by that logic, no, I've got a bit of car in my computer now. TJ's got his steering wheel and his pedals, and I've got more car than his computer ever. It's not necessarily a good thing. I don't know. I'm crazy. I've always wanted a steering wheel and pedals though. I'm not invested enough in car related, like racing games and driving games to need a steering wheel and pedals. Just like I'm not invested enough in driving train games to need a rail driver, even though I do play Run 8. I have a joystick because I've had one for 20 years, uh, but it's not because I fly all the time or even really like flying in games. It's just I play War Thunder sometimes, and I want to use a stick for it. I play Elite Dangerous, and that's best with a stick, so I keep the stick on my desk. I haven't played Elite Dangerous in a while, but I really would like to. Can you use the old parts to stream, though? That is a very good idea. Um, I was going to use the old parts for um, Run 8 and a joy. That sounds that I okay. I don't even know if Run 8 will let you map stuff to a joystick, but you know what? Go for it. Um, if it works, let me know. I need to play more Run 8 though. I really would like to play more Run 8. I paid enough money for that game. I want to play more of it. Um, yeah, I using it like that would be a really good idea to use it as a streaming PC. At the same time, I was going to use it for a little bit more of a practical purpose and just use it as a box for a television. Upstairs, well, I have a spare television now, and upstairs has no, um, well, anything. It doesn't have a TV, it doesn't have a cable connection, it doesn't have a cable box. Um, And I might be tempted to move my other cable box upstairs if I got a PC that hooked up to the television in here, or some such thing. Um, I need a rail driver, yeah. I don't need a rail driver. I need a rail driver, but the rail driver just directly controls the AI. Like I'm inputting the freaking Konami code to get it to drive to track mark. Get a control stand out of a Jeep and stand that up next to your computer. We had one at the NBNW that we were supposed to make into a controller. Mew, do you remember that? It was sitting out like in front of in like the foyer area, I guess you'd call it, with the little model of the interlocking tower, which is basically the whole reason I'm obsessed with interlockings. Um, and begged Tyler to have them put into Rares Online for a while. Um, it's kind of a shame we never got that going. That would have been really neat. And I'm sure it wouldn't have been a first, but you know, well, I don't know where, I don't know. Uh, haven't got a clue. Here's another fun one for you in particular, or anyone else that knows like the Troy area. The Albany Port Railroad number 2, the RS3 that used to be in the yard outside the Colony shops, just abandoned. I used to go eat lunch in it every once in a while. I would drive across to Colony, and I'm kind of kicking myself that I never went and explored the Colony shops before they were turned down. Before they were torn down, I think if I realized what they were, like, I'm not sure I understood that like these are the D&H Colony shops. It was just like, oh, there's a bunch of abandoned buildings over there outside of this rail yard. I kind of put two and two together um, after they were torn down, or like while they were being torn down. I was like, oh man, I missed an opportunity. Like I could have gone in there or tried to. Um, the Troy Union interlocking towers are based. No, I'm talking about the it was just a set of levers. If I had a car and knew, I might have joined you. I mean, I had a car, so if you knew, you should have told me. But if you didn't. So, uh, about the eating lunch in the RS3. But yeah, I mean that would have been neat too. Uh, I was thinking of the Colony shops. Uh, it wasn't something that I like telegraphed, and it wasn't something I did super often. I would just like, I don't know. I would just get like this vibe, like, you know what, I'm gonna go rail fanning, but I don't feel like driving all the way to Selkirk. So I'm just gonna go over here and see if a train comes by, which it never did. But I would just hang around that RS3. Find an abandoned piece of rolling stock to eat lunch in. Yeah. Uh, don't worry, Orion. We'll probably be going late today. I started 2 hours late. Um, yes. Yes. Exactly. Now you know what I'm talking about. That was probably my favorite thing in the NEB&W. And if I could buy those, like if I could buy different interlocking tower, little 1/4 scale models for various interlockings, I would be so broke. I would only be able to own one Volvo, because I would have spent. I also wouldn't be able to like walk around this room because it'd be filled with little interlocking towers. But I loved that thing. If they were ever getting rid of it, I would bid an obnoxiously high number to take it home. Um, and I would just sit here playing with it for like hours on end because I swear to God, every time I went to walk out of the building, I stopped and I fiddled with it every single time. If I wasn't carrying 2 giant pizzas to take back to the dorm and throw in the freezer, Orion, do not say that. I I don't need a 3D printer. I have friends with 3D printers. But I would have to relearn 3D CAD, and I don't feel like relearning 3D CAD. I haven't done 3D CAD since I was in college. Um, does anyone have pics of it? I don't know if I have a picture of it. Mew, do you have a picture of it? Because if you don't and I don't, I'm not sure we know anyone that does. I feel like my buddy would make something like that for enough money. I mean, oh, and that was Dean saying that. You both, and Dean and Orion, your names are about the same length. I can only see the N off the side of my screen. No, 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 Mew. We don't need to. We don't need to get into a bidding war over it. We can do the divorced parents thing. I'll have it one week and you'll have it the next week. How about that? Does that work? Can we do that? Um, I gotta delete these tiles now. I know it can't be undone. I didn't ask for it to be done. No lateness, some switch levers, but that's just a few switches. Yeah, this was, I mean, the neat thing about this was that it was functional. It was, I think, 1/4 scale, and the levers were actually interlocked, so you couldn't just throw levers that would cause derailments. Um, Alright, these edges look a little mushy, so we'll have to work on that. Um, Listen, when Railroads Online 2 or whatever the successor by someone else is going to be comes out, if there are interlocking towers, I'm buying it day one. I don't care how bad it is. Just let me do interlocking towers. Let me sit up there and throw some goddamn levers. That's all I ask for. That's all I've ever wanted. Here's my thing. Once I buy a house and get my model layout set up, how could I not use it for its prototypical purpose? Oh, man! I guess the divorced parents agreement isn't going to work out then. At least let me have visitation rights. The same buddy of mine was making an interlocking simulator. Graham, Graham. I just called you Graham. Matt, I'll be in my bunk. I know, like, that's practically rail route, but just, I just want to pull levers. I just wanted to hear it go clunk. I gotta finish my basement. Yeah, good luck. I would love to finish my basement were it possible. I've just accepted the fact that I'm never gonna have my own layout, and you know what? I'm fine with that, because if I get sort of bothered, like if I don't really feel like doing scenery and trains, I definitely don't feel like doing it in real life. Um, I learned that my hands shake like crazy. With real water. Oh God. Yeah, I'm gonna put G scale in my basement. That's the only thing that's gonna be able to survive down there. Why don't more people do water features? Because they're not insane. Is the thing that I should have learned. Um, Miniature Wonderland. I need a barn for my layout. It's like a mechanical keyboard except with trains. I'll never be able to. Yeah, no, I mean you can build layout on budget. Oh well, owning a house, yeah. Well, in this economy, um, well, see what I actually have to do is put the O scale back up in the rest of the house, but I have to do it like after Gloria goes back to working, so that I can do it while they're not here. Yeah, I appreciate. I assume it was a lot of towels. Um, what do you need my? Can you not fit them all in the closet? Can you not fit them all in the closet? Oh, hold on, I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Don't touch that dial. All right, hope everyone's still here. There's a lot of houses for sale within walking distance. Can't afford any of them. Mew, plug your goddamn phone in. How does everyone have problems with phone charge? Phones are so good at not dying these days. Yes, my love. Of course. Remind me before we go to bed, but I will do it before we go to bed. Um, just move to the middle of nowhere and buy houses with only 1 hour away from a hospital. 1 hour away from a hospital is very close, if you ask me. Um, it'll lock up the layout. Um, listen, don't worry. Don't worry. The housing market will crash any day now. Any day now. I did see like one headline about like this glimmer of hope, and by glimmer of hope, it's not a glimmer of hope. It would be very bad. Uh, don't get me wrong, it would be a catastrophe. But then again, this is all going to happen with the massive economic collapse that's going to come with the railroads striking. Um, but like, uh, any minute now. Yeah, no, it would be. Thank you, baby. It would be something. I think hopefully we don't get a tremendous crash because of the railroads. But man, if something like that were to happen, there was a railroader on Reddit that put it better than anyone else I'd seen. It's like nobody wants this to happen. The railroaders want their lives to be better. They don't want to cause an economic catastrophe. But if they did, you're talking just a whole economy, like a whole world economy, pretty much, just grinding to a halt while this gets hashed out. And it would be completely just disaster, like 1929 disaster, you know. Um, enjoy your Hoovervilles and bread lines. We need to make sure that this doesn't happen, and we need to make sure it doesn't happen in a way that doesn't just kick the can down the road for 10 years so that we can worry about this happening again, you know, in 2032, you know. Um, so, we gotta, solidarity with workers and all that good stuff. And let's hope that they get, like, a living wage, but that isn't even the half of it. It's like time off that doesn't completely blow, and, that sort of thing. I need to go over this one more time. Unionize Stalinbot. I mean, it kind of did that. I mean, you guys aren't much of a union, but you can. I mean, you can't put me in timeout, so there's still no leverage over me. That's why you don't have the Stalinbot doesn't have the administrator permission anymore. So bad actors with Stalinbot can't just blow up the whole server. More of a co-op. Yeah, that's fair. I've always sort of equated it to the nuclear launch codes. But then again, because Stalinbot is not as all powerful as it used to be, it's it's less like that now. Which is now that timeouts exist, like now that that's a thing, that changes the moderation game on Discord so much. And I didn't even really realize the tool had been dropped on us, but it's here, and I should probably make use of it. I should probably have a little, Horseman meeting rules revision, give myself, on top of Stalinbot, some leniency as to when to use timeouts, or when I can use timeouts, or when timeouts can be used. Which would allow me to, sort of break stuff up without putting people in gulag. Which would be nice, because it means I don't have to do paperwork. It means I don't have to do, I don't have to necessarily piss people off. And if you throw someone in gulag and they leave the suit, I just drew. Hold on. then you're not staring down like potentially banning someone because that's what the rules say. Um, it's just Stalinbot needs dental coverage. 1 hour. Yeah, I mean, just not even necessarily what the abilities are, but just putting something in the rules, codifying something about these lower level punishments that frankly were not possible before. And yeah, I could throw someone in gulag for only, a little while, but I still have to, put that down in the document. It goes on their permanent record. Uh, it, sort of contributes to any future offenses because while it's not written explicitly, further offenses do tend to come with greater penalties. Um, this it's a whole moderation thing, and now that we have this tool, I really feel like we should consider using it, or I should, oh god damn it, I should consider using it more frequently. Um, because I'm trying to reduce the number of friggin' arguments. Like I get that people want to argue, but sometimes everyone needs to chill out. And that means not only chilling yourself out, it means like recognizing when there's not chill, uh, and being like, all right, hold on, we gotta return the chill. This is a real good reason to not, you know. Don't get me wrong. There's plenty of good reasons to argue about stuff, and there's plenty of like good stuff to be learned from healthy debate, but it can't be every day in every channel. People need to chill. Apparently, first-person interlocking sim was never any further than the concept art and models made. Then he got busy with life. Oh, that's a shame. Well, I'll still take his entire stock, even if that stock is 0. We'll just hold it until the squeeze. All right, here we go. I really like how this river area turned out. One of these things I feel like I should do is actually pull the road away from the field at some point in these areas. I'm also going to have to go back and do some homesteads for, for everything, for all these farms. But hmm. This is going to be like Jasper Valley, this area right here. Or maybe we'd go with one of the other, crystal gems. Anyway, uh, Saturday going to Essex, hopefully going to show them the 3025 card, and maybe drop off my business card as a, hey, if you like these cards, I can make you some cards. And sort of lay down, because I think I have a reasonable price point now, because I discussed it with Mason about what the SRI might want to do. Derail Valley, they'd have the majority of assets. I mean, maybe. The main thing would just be the interlocking logic, and the thing that's fun, that thing that was fun about the real life one is just that, I mean, it was a real life one. It was, you had these functional mechanical interlocking levers. I don't even know if you can replicate that in a digital environment and get the same effect. I don't know. I would have to sit down with the thing and see if I am enthused or not. I don't think I would be, because I am just marveled by the ingenuity of someone making a mechanical interlocking. If it's digital logic, that's easy. Orion, I don't want a lot for Christmas. There's just one thing I need, and it's to fix this computer. Interlocking simulator that uses a sim racing H pattern shifter. That's yes, that's so good. Now we're talking. Now we get the mechanical aspect. I still need to buy the Potteries loop line route for Trainz because of a scenario where you're just in a signal box. What? I mean, I could just play more rail route. And by could, I mean should. I went back to it. I really was trying to, excuse me, get way up there on a map. And every time I like, okay, this is going to be it. I'm going to dedicate my life to, I'm going to dedicate my, like, single player gaming time when I'm not playing Minecraft with Gloria and not doing other stuff. Playing Run 8 or whatever. I need to play more Run 8. The Shoreline Tribe Museum. It's our annual meeting. We should be running cars off the back wall. I would go if I didn't have 6 other things to do on Saturday. I hope that it turns out awesome. Unless you want to go to Shoreline instead, TJ. From what I remember seeing when you're in a signal box and sending trains wherever they need to go. I mean, yeah, just play Railroad. I mean, I know you also don't have Railroad, but Dean, you should get Railroad. Trying to 100% the scenarios on Railroad is hard, and there's so many great workshop ones. Shoreline's out in Connecticut somewhere. It's the other one that I always forget about. I think of Seashore, and then people bring up that one. Wait, why is Danvers funny? Oh, East Haven, just outside New Haven. Mew, have you been to, speaking of interlocking towers, Mew, have you or has anyone else been to the Sono Switch Tower Museum in Norwalk? Because that is something that I would love to visit. It's been on my list since I found out about it, but it's open like 5 hours a week, maybe? On Saturdays in the middle of the day, that's it. So it's been a little bit of a tall order for me to get over there. I would have to make a day of that. Oh, someone mentioned that earlier. I missed it. It's a good. It's something that I'd love to see. I'm sorry I missed it. I wanna go. I wanna go to Sono. Although I don't like Norwalk as a place because I've had to do things there for work, and it hasn't like I hate that project because it made me work with the boss that was terrible and made the entire traffic department quit. So like I hold a grudge against Norwalk, but maybe that'll make me feel better about Norwalk as a place. Um, I too want to see the Hawaiian thing. I don't ask why, but you said Essex, and only two things came to mind: Montana and the aircraft carrier. No, don't feel bad. I did the opposite thing the other day. They were talking about Essex, Montana, and I chimed in with like a fun fact about Essex, Connecticut, and no one even noticed. Uh, and I did not realize until afterward, and I was just like, nobody said anything. It was a generic statement. It was just like Essex is really spread out, or it's really small, or something like that. Something which apparently applies to both Essexes, but you know, it's not though. It's like in downtown Norwalk. They call it South Norwalk. I don't know how it's south of anything. Or wait, no, that's not what I mean. I don't know how it's more south than regular Norwalk. It's right there. Um, isn't the train station that's right next to you just Norwalk? Or is it actually South Norwalk? Because then there's South and East. I don't know. I don't know enough about Connecticut. I'm okay with not knowing much about Connecticut. It's Connecticut. Oh, I learned something interesting. The South Interlocking Tower for Norwalk. Yeah, that's probably fair. Um, I learned something the other day. So, people who know the Iron Horseman route well will know that the. I bet there's a no-no. um, People that know the Iron Horseman route well, particularly Davenport. Yeah, no kidding. What is your point, Matt? What is your point? Fight me. We fought a war to not be Connecticut, okay? Um, my okay, so Iron Horseman map, right? The river and channel in Davenport. Uh, if anyone remembers the name of those, they get extra credit, and I'll give you a few seconds to figure it out. It's how you use it, Orion. You should know. Uh, if anyone remembers the name of the river, Lauren trains it. Yeah, Mount Desert Island. What's wrong with that? Anyway, it was the Blackstone. I'm glad somebody does remember that. So here's the fun thing I learned about the Blackstone. So when we created that, when Wildwood was recreating Davenport because the original one was good but too modern, uh, it was like I need a name for a river, and I just threw out Blackstone because it's a local river to me, and we were sort of in the habit of using these local names, and uh, I threw that out because I didn't want to like go with Woonasquatucket because he would shoot that down immediately. So we went with Blackstone. The Blackstone River is a local river. It had a canal in it that ran from Providence to Worcester, which was eventually supplanted by the Providence and Worcester Railroad. Well, I say eventually; it was almost immediately after the canal was completed. But that's how canals in the early 1800s tended to go. Um, and I learned that it was named not because of black stones, but because of a man named Blackston. Blaxton. That was his last name. It was named after this guy who was, it happens to be, not just one of the first, the very first English settler of Massachusetts and Rhode Island. And he was apparently great friends with Roger Williams, even though they differed on many things politically. I'm quoting, like, Wikipedia here or whatever. Considered each other good friends. It was such an interesting, weird thing. Um, Mookanukan Flying Fish River. Yeah, named after a guy called, I don't know, Fish. Uh, so yeah, I always would have figured, oh, it's Blackstone. It's named for like the rocks in it or whatever. No, it's named for a guy. It's named for a guy. It's named for someone who settled in Rhode Island in the 1590s, or what would become Rhode Island. What was not even Providence Colony at that point. Um, it's like A.E. Burnside's. Please elaborate. What do you mean? Also, did I miss the story about the thing I asked about earlier? The DVD that couldn't play on anything? I feel like I missed the thing. Um, Oops, I right-clicked. Well, it's way buried. If you wrote something about it, I missed it. Oh, I haven't. I bought Cat a gift, and the codec or the wrapper or something is unique to players. That oh god, that's Jesus Christ. Actually, I've seen that happen before. Uh, well, okay, yes, yeah, no, that's fair. I'm not saying that there are no black rocks here. I'm just saying it wasn't historically named for black rocks. The guy might have been named for black rocks because there is another spelling of his name that's Blackstone. Um, oh, Burnsides and Sideburns. Yes, okay, right. Um, um, HD. Oh, for God's sake, get this thing out of here. Hide user. There we go. We have enough people for spam. Yeah, 9 concurrent viewers will do it, apparently. That's okay. Sexyfinder.biz will no longer be posting messages on this channel, or at least they'll be automatically hidden. We'll get to see that there was spam, just not what it was. I mean, you already know what it says anyway. Don't nobody click those links. Nobody click them. There are not hot girls in your area that... Well, I mean, maybe there are, but they're not trying to find you this way. They've been a fan from the beginning. Yeah, those are the... It's the very same bot that used to come into the Terminus guest list and speak Russian. Back on Skype. I never realized that was our biggest fan. Do the bots count as viewers, actually? That's an interesting question. Like, are they just popping in for a millisecond to write a comment, or are they technically viewing the video and then posting comments? Alright. It's 10:20. We're still rolling. I still feel good about this. We're not doing anything except for grass and trees and stuff like that. Or grass and fields. Actually, any of the farmers here, is there... I may have asked this before. Is there a particular reason that you plow a field a certain way, or is it just convenience based on the shape of the field? Like, do you always want to plow, like, east-west, or into the wind, or things like that? I don't need that bot, I got anime. Bonk. Some of you probably know... Doing alright. Some of you probably know that... Oh, wait, both. Huh. Landscape plays a factor, says Dean. I mean, we have some people that are actually farmers in here. I would assume landscape plays some sort of factor. HD DVDs, HD DVDs. I remember hearing it. The only reason I know HD DVDs exist is because of Red versus Blue. It was a joke in a PSA about HD DVDs versus Blu-rays. And perpendicular to runoff to reduce erosion. Okay. Well, somebody paid attention to their classes anyway. I sure didn't. What's convenient for the shape of the field? You don't avoid dust clouds, but others you go with the shape. Interesting. Alright, so the stuff that I'm doing with aligning my fields isn't necessarily outrageous. It's just, you know, I'm trying to align them with the shape of the field, which isn't, you know, necessarily a priority. Or it isn't always a priority, but it's not a bad one. See, now I've got with the slope and against the slope. Both people have said opposite things, which is interesting. Really wish I could just draw this. Oh, no. Oh, no! No! Alright, we're gonna have to merge this back in. And so you don't roll your tractor. Okay, well, yeah. Oh, man. Merge. No, don't do that. Merge into route layer. Check. Okay, this is elaborate. Not with that attitude they can't, Orion. This is a little bit elaborate. Let me go look at my map instead. That's what I should have done. I should have worked on the map. But anyway, I forgot I had a map for the last 2 hours. Down the slope, but not across it. Huh. That's what we need to do. Just go back to Strasbourg and ask the Amish. See what they have to say about it. How do you plow your fields, guys? I'm gonna have to continue drawing up maps. The other thing is I'm missing a circle here. Sure as the sunrise, that's what they say about the Albion. We need to put a circle there because there's a major port there. This is like a major important harbor. Like I said, the first railroad on Tolbrand was from Zion to here, or from Zion to the water's edge at least. Um, which is kind of an unassuming spot for it, but you know, it is what it is. Um, and then Kingston and Tidebow are like more minor towns. Zion is a huge like steel milling operation. You know, you have iron ore trains. You know, this is I think your iron ore mines, and then probably some up here. But iron ore trains that are coming down into Zion from here, from here. Probably stuff that's coming off of ore boats, potentially. Depends how much you know you're going to take in on a daily basis. Or coming up from here, and then going from here to there, or from just over that. Are you done yet? Okay, it did it. All right, back to work. I need some water. Should have asked Gloria for some water. Northwest Ohio killed that meme. It ain't funny. Always has been. Usually go with wind to avoid dust. It's a factor of many things. Interesting. Um, right, there we go. You don't know what DVIX is? Think proprietary DVD discs that are paywalled through your DVD player. That sounds awful and ridiculous. What did you buy? What was it? Or is it in a barge or a bulk ship, as in a Great Lakes freighter? Yes, baby? Yeah. Can you get me some water? Thank you. It's a DVD with DRM. Yikes. Or is it boat in barge, bulk ship is in a Great Lake? Probably. I'm not sure. Because I really want to go over the map again with an eye to like resource deposits, and I'm talking resources everything from trees to iron ore to zinc to quartz sand, you know, to gravel. Like I want to go over the map and just look at like, okay, this stuff can go from here, this stuff can go from here, this stuff can go from here. So that I can more accurately fill out one of the tables. Thank you very much. Discontinued digital video format. Unsuccessful. Attempt to create an alternative to video rental. Isn't the alternative to video rental just buying DVDs? That's wow. That's really something. I mean, that's crazy, and it's like it sounds like a terrible practice, terrible like anti-consumer practice, but it's pretty clever. Um, I miss Blockbuster. Rental format. Customer would buy a disc, which is watchable for up to 48 hours. After the disc could be paid, viewed by paying a continuation fee to play it for 2 more days. Yeah, I mean, it is just Redbox. Wow. That's so bizarre. I'm gonna have to. Is there like a technology connections video on this? Because I want to I want to learn more about this. To plug the player into with a phone jack like once a month for it to update with the network. Oh man, the ways to connect stuff to the internet are like, you know, the proto internet. So priceless. That's so weird and very. I mean, it's very cool. It's stupid, but like from the point of view of someone who wants to like use a DVD. But damn, I mean, you can get a like a DVD for like $3 in the Walmart bargain bin. I'm not gonna pay $4.50 for a rental. I'll just wait. I know the bargain bin is generally filled with trash, but you dig to the bottom of that stuff, you find some stuff. OG networks. I know of guys riffing over an explanation from back in the day. Riffing over an explanation video. I'm not sure that's exactly what I'm looking for, but that's funny. I'm sorry, I keep losing track of this like DVD codec conversation and then going back to it after unrelated distractions. Uh, all right, I need to do this along here, but I'm running out of steam. I don't really feel like doing this anymore. Like not under construction. I just want to go do something else, like something on the map, or something in the spreadsheets. At least I want to talk about them because there was something that I was thinking of doing before we started, and then I ended up waiting uh, until after I ate to start, which I think worked out well. But here we are. We've been here for like an hour and 20 minutes, and that's not a lot for under construction. So, quick changes. No, goddamn it. I already did it. I already changed the subject. I mean, if Graham is still here, I can give the 2 foot spiel again if I go over to the map again. Do I have this? No. I wasn't sure what my camera mode was set on. There we go. I still have MSTS in the original box somewhere. I'm doing the same, just following along while I get the new carrier leveled up on the phone. There we go. Alright, we need to... Yeah. Aside from homesteads, this area is going to be pretty done and it's going to look pretty good. And the thing is, I feel like half the time people don't even think about, hey, where's the barn for that field? You just throw down some fields, you know? And these farms, they don't necessarily all have to have the same, uh, or they don't have to have individual farmhouses. I'm sort of making it out to be every little farm is individual, but you can have a larger farmhouse that handles more than one farm. And I mean that's very reasonable in the modern day. In the 50s, I mean you still had mechanized farming. It wasn't unreasonable. So many third party. I don't think I ever downloaded anything third party for MSTS. I was never like good at it. Only very late in its life I discovered the thing where it'll just give you a tour of the route, and I wish I had discovered that much earlier because I would have loved to just watch that go. And I feel like that is like a microcosm of why I love this so much. I mean, I didn't spend as much time with MSTS as I feel like a lot of other folks because I've never been about driving the trains, you know? I've never really cared too much about that. I mean to double down on what I was just saying, you know, sort of learning that you could have a thing where the trains all drive themselves, that was big money, like big winnings for me. I was happy with that. Just to watch the train go through the map. And on the, you know, to carry on with that, my favorite route in 2000 Trainz 2006 when I got that was the Hawes Junction route, the scenario where the trains are all driving themselves, so the main line is running itself, and the coal train sort of does its thing, and then you get to take it over after that. And what I would do is I would always try to run it and I should do that. I should do that for a special episode. Um, I like running trains more in a physical model than I do in a virtual model. Um, you know, I play Run 8 because I like the sorting problems and things. I play, you know, Rail Route because I like directing trains where to go. I play Trainz because I like building a world where the trains will then run themselves. It's got nothing to do with me driving trains. I don't like trains for driving trains, at least not in the virtual world. where, sit me down in the cab of a locomotive. That's different. The three-quarters of an idiot were discussing the other day about sort of, and I instigated this in part, comparison to being Top Gear but for trains, just the three of them. And I said, if you guys are Top Gear but for trains, then let me be your Stig, except instead of being the conventional Stig where I'm like really good at driving cars and whatever, I know next to nothing about driving locomotives. So I'm just like I'm the straight man. Well, I have no idea. What does this lever do? What does this lever do? What do I have to do? Do I move it like this? Do I move it like this? This looks like a brake. Uh, I'm the star in the moderately priced car. Yeah, exactly. Except without the stardom. I like watching trains. I mainly have switching to have activities, but you never catch me having realistic yards or industries. Yeah, and that's he had been making around and automating all of the trains. I have never heard of Blue Wizard, but now I have to fight him. Uh, but he sounds like my kind of guy, and I'd like to talk to him actually. Um, you're the measurement of how easy it is to operate a specific locomotive. Yeah, there you go. That's what it is. Um, just some random dude we snuck in through the backstage door. We smuggled this small Italian into the CRRM, and now he's going to drive 491. If I ever get there uh, for Polar or anything like that, something like that is bound to happen, and I'm not sure if I'm prepared. I'm not sure if I'm like mentally capable for that. Uh, I'll be trying not to like foam, and at the same time try not to completely embarrass myself. Although those two things are one and the same. Um, where's the dog? Where? Oh, I see him. I couldn't see him. Ellis hides in the doghouse, among other stories. Yeah. I may have mentioned this before, but I have been meaning to write a thing for the three-quarters of an idiot for a citation needed. Basically, just a little story for them based on something that happened locally. Well, I mean, I probably will too. They they're pretty insistent that I come out at some point because I am the fourth quarter of an idiot. But I I can't I can't just jump on a flight and go out there. It doesn't work that way. Um, I cannot leave Goya. That is part of it. Yes, Goya will be sad if I do that. Hmm. Why? Oh, okay. Well, the parts are on the way. I have a slight no. It's gonna be impossible to top the stuck in the snow story. This I was I watched that video and I went like, yeah, I have no idea how anything I could like tell these people will get anywhere remotely close to this story. But you know what? I'm gonna give it a shot, and because I have a good local story that many of you have probably heard before. Um, I'm not gonna spoil what it is, but it's a thing. Um, okay, so what happened? Oh, stop injuring yourself.
I would like to stop injuring myself too.
I wanted to ask you about something.
Me?
Yeah, you.
What did I do?
You didn't do anything. Don't worry, you're fine. No, but okay, this is like 2,500 feet. Um, the parts, right? The parts are coming. I have this graphics card, which is better than yours and will help out your computer. However, it might be the culprit for my crashes. And there is a non-zero chance that if I give it to you, it will not necessarily make things better. Like things will run better, and if they don't run better, they will just crash. Um, and I don't want to give you a bum graphics card. What I'm trying to say is there's a non-zero chance that when I give you this card, I'm gonna have to end up taking it out of your computer because it's not going to actually make things better for you. And you'll have to stick with that one for now, which means that you won't necessarily reap the benefits of new stuff right away, but it will make sure that the next time, anything happens, it'll make sure that you are next in line for any addition or change. Although also this is 241. It needed to be 242. Yeah, well, I don't want you to get stuck with this thing, because, remember how I couldn't play Bioshock? I think it might be the card. Um, there are a couple things that I could try with it, and that I'm going to try with it, like replacing the thermal paste when I get the new stuff, and then I'll give it to you, because hopefully that'll fix it. But, I can't necessarily promise that this card is going to be able to make your life easier, even though I would like it to. I know. Next engine on the purchase list, BR-52, BR-86, Siemens Vectron. American railroads are bland and after full of youth liking them. Hey, just to circle back to the DivvyX thing, it doesn't just update on a network. It made 2 toll-free calls a month in the middle of the night to the billing computer. That's so funny. 2 toll-free calls. At least they're toll-free. At least you're not getting a phone bill because your DVD player has to talk to its boss. How absurd would that? Looking, yeah. How ridiculous would that be? Just seeing that on your phone bill. Honey, what is this charge? Oh, that's the DVD player. Oh, okay, yeah, that makes perfect sense. I really wanted to watch The Iron Giant again, so I had it call up the. I had it phone in. Then you're paying extra. If you had told numbers. Also, my hair is just all like. I didn't get to. I swear I'm not having an affair. It's the DVD player. PowerShell, isn't that like the thing for your graphics card? Please tell me that they marketed it toll free just to make it even more ridiculous. I mean, it'd be worse. It'd be way worse if it wasn't. Um. Okay, now I've got to draw lines. I've got to pick one of these. I want these. I want all these fields to be sort of at the same angle, if that's at all possible. Excuse me. At least this has a measurement of angle on it, so 150 is our number. Nope. Grab the other one. Grab the other one. Grab the other one. Oh my god. Holy Jesus. Give me the other. Oh, there we go. Nope. Back to the left. Back to the left. Back into the left. Okay. Oh, he's got his rawhide. I was like, what the heck? You can't draw lines like that. That's illegal. Patrick, the lid. The lid. Oh, for God's sake. I can't with the rulers. I can't. I never use them. There's a reason. I hate them. That's the reason. The rulers and me just never got along. I'm my own ruler. Can I please grab the right one? Thank you. To the right, to the left. There we go. We're gonna have more or less parallel bars. I'm drawing in all these here. That's mostly my goal now. I know the more farm fields I do, the more... I need to stop putting it down right on top of the other one. That's half my problem. The more farm fields I do, the more I'm going to have to... That one I got right away. The more I'm going to have to do in the way of homesteads all at once. But we're not going past Jasper Mills. You know what? Maybe Maybe I can set that in stone right now. I can just say that. We are not going past Jasper Mills until we have all the other homesteads done. Um, maybe. Maybe. It's a good goal. I don't know if it's something that I'm going to do, but it's a good goal. Alright, give me another ruler. And then let's bring this back down here. This is me pioneering techniques. I've never even thought about doing this before. I just sort of looked at all the other lines for the farm fields and realized they were kind of wonky. So why should I do that? Why shouldn't I make them not wonky? Probably counted a many batch. I would recommend posting it in the thread. Hi. I would recommend posting that in the thread if you're not in the thread. Are you in the thread? You're not in the thread. Putting you in the thread. Now you're in the thread. Maybe you were and I just didn't see you. But yeah, put it in there. That's a good place for it. Lafayette. Hi. Hi. Hi, troublemaker. What are you doing? Oh, the cat's in the cat bed. Ooh, new thread. I mean, new to you, anyway. How long have we been going? Like an hour and 45. An hour and 50. That's not bad, considering we started 2 hours late. I do want to play some Noida, so... Well, actually, I want to watch Stargate and go to bed early. Or go to bed on time, is what I want to do. And I need to remember to set my alarm, because... Alright, I've had a saga. I've had a saga. We're going to talk about my life for a second. I've had a saga of trying to take the bus to work for the last 3 days. And I know that doesn't sound like much of a saga, but I drove to work on Monday. And I was kind of fed up with the car acting up already. And by the car in this case, I mean Moose, Gloria's car. Because not only does it have... I'm going to have to put the freaking trees on a different layer again. Not only does it have issues shifting about half the time, sometimes it just likes third gear a lot. Because it goes into limp home mode. It also has a misfire. I think it's a misfire. It feels like a misfire. And that happens sporadically as well. Not exactly predictable. Not like I can't plan for it. I'm not going to send it to Tony because, well, Gloria is going to be doing all the paying Tony for the repair work on the car. And Gloria is currently not employed. But the Gloria has been my lovely housewife for the last month or so. It's been fantastic. I'm not gonna lie. I really like it, and I like having Gloria here all the time, and I like the house being clean, and I like not having to worry about anything, and being not alone when I'm working from home, and not alone in like the evenings because they would have to do weird evening shift and not getting up at 6 a.m. and there's lots of benefits. Okay. So it's not like I'm here lamenting like, oh, Gloria doesn't have a job. I don't want it to come off that way, because that's not the way I feel about it. But that's why Moose has not been to Tony. There's another thing going on with Tony, which I don't think it's right for me to share. But the the Moose is being a problem child. Moose is not the priority in being a problem child, and the wagon doesn't want to start when I ask it to start about half the time. So it's also being a problem child, and the other car is at Tony's because it wasn't running right, and I don't know why. So, you know, that's it led me to not want to have to drive to work. So trad, what does that mean? Um, oh, traditional Catholic. Okay. What's the cold temperature crank on the battery? The battery's brand new. It's it's not a battery issue. It's not a starter issue. The starter's brand new. It's not an alternator issue. The alternator's good. It's not an ignition switch issue. The ignition is good. It's a bad ground. We're pretty sure. Um, because it will not jump with a jump pack, and it will not jump with a car that is not running, because none of those things have paths to ground. It will jump, or it will start if you hook it up to a battery charger, because that has a ground, and it'll start if you hook it up to a running car, because that has a ground in the circuit. But otherwise, just doesn't want to start about half the time. I believe it. I have to assume it has something to do with like residual charge that gets built up, but that's not why we're here right now. I've been tired of dealing with all this crap. Especially due to the fact that I had to go to the PN 2 days in a row, one for the Grange meeting and one for the PN meeting, where I was forcibly made president. I was like, I'm not driving this freaking car anymore. I'm not dealing with either of these cars. So what next? Well, I can take the bus. I can take the bus. There's only one real good opportunity for me to get there on my schedule, though, and it means I gotta get up at 8 and leave the house, which is something I should be doing anyway. I should be getting up at 8, even when I'm working from home. But instead, I'm getting up at like 5 of 9 and like dragging myself over to my computer, 5 of 9 or later, and dragging myself over to my computer and going like, yeah, I'm here, whatever. What do you need? Work. And so I figured it'd be good to get me on a routine. It'd be good to, just be a good citizen, not be traffic, to take the bus because I can do it. I just have to get up a little bit earlier than I have been. I have to, walk down to Stop and Shop, catch the bus from there, and then go over to the stop before Oneyville, so I don't have to go into Oneyville, and then walk, less than 10 minutes to job. I mean, this really it's less than 10 minutes of walking in total, I think.
Then we get lunch tomorrow together.
Yeah, and then I go into Oneyville for lunch and meet up with Goya, and then I go into Oneyville or nearby to go home at the end of the day. Um, Ellis forgot that problems come in threes, and then let Gloria get a Volvo.
I wanted the Volvo.
I Matt is not saying that I forced you to get one, just that I let you get one. And yes, you did. It is your Volvo. It's Angie. I can't. I hope.
Which
I
is my problem, Todd.
I hope we get to a point where that car is fixed and stable and like good and wonderful because I love the angry Volvo.
Angry. Get a picture of that photo.
We need a picture of Dean standing in front of the car, flipping off the car, and Photoshop of the car flipping off Dean back. Now this is 43. Um, yeah. Dean says, "What?" You heard me. It's probably a Sasspot. Like, it's got the angry eyes and everything.
My car, of course, was that.
Hey, if it's anything like your sister.
Oh man.
Okay, let's. She's sassy. Well, let's see. How long is this field? It's at its longest. It's about 4,000 feet. So we'll do 4,000 by 2,500. Then the two make up over it and hug. We know Dean loves Volvos no matter what. That's true. Dean's gonna own one someday. Uh, I need to draw a line at... What is it? Is this supposed to be 150 or 152? Oh, whoops. Oh, wait, what is this? What is this supposed to be? It's supposed to be 242. Oh, because it's facing the other way. Spin it around. No! Why? 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 Why are you like this? There we go. I have the Reynolds pamphlet stuck in my head. He's never gonna be president now. Round one, fight. Dean versus the Volvo. Okay. So... now I've got to draw another line. Why am I continuing to do this? I'm done drawing farm fields for today. We're gonna have a little addendum where I go to the map and do some things, and then go to the spreadsheets and do some things. So the fun part ends now. I mean, for the people that are here explicitly for Trainz, you can, you know, you're free to go. For the people that are here for Tolbrin in general, now the ride is just starting. Most of you though already know the changes that I made to this map. Namely, they're in the bottom. They are this whole area sort of looking a little bit fractured, a little bit more like Mid-Coast Maine. That is, you know, that's intentional. That's on purpose. This is, it's what the people want. I mean, this this brown line is what the people want. It's made up of two different 2-foot gauge railroads. The first one is the Setter Island Railway, which is this here, which ran through Setter Springs, from this town here to this town here. It's mostly abandoned. It's just this connection exists so that they can exchange materials with the Gilson Eastern. The Great Sundering of '87. Dean, it won't. And either way, we have a demigod on our side. It cannot be killed, and even if it can be killed, it can be unkilled. And then you have this railroad, which is the what did I call it? It's the Emden, Tombstone, and Gulf, or something like that. Yeah, the ET&G. Emden, Tombstone, and Gulf. That never made it to Tombstone. It made it to the Gulf, but it did not make it up here. So the 2-foot is going to be very, very down and out, which is why nobody's bought it and turned it into standard gauge. So yeah, those are the major changes I made. I need to go through and continue doing all of the mountains. I mean, it's a lot of triangles to draw, is the thing. I just need to fill in all this area to indicate that this is mountainous, because it is. And I suppose what I could do is just copy paste the mountains, but instead I'm going to sit here for hours drawing mountains, just drawing triangles, just to indicate how mountainous these regions are. The regions with big pointy things are more mountainous than the ones with smaller pointy things. But really, like I said, I would like to go through this map at some point and create a layer just for resources, because that'll help me fill out my tables. And by my tables, I mean possibly the most annoying table that I have, which is this one. Not this one specifically, this one. This one I have not touched because we only have one thing. And this one, this is really old because this is supposed to be a list of all the different cars we have. This, I tried to make it inclusive of other stuff, um, where it's like a generic whatever. The freight cars have to be specific because they carry specific commodities. The things that do not carry stuff do not matter. Um, Coaches, sleepers, all coaches are interchangeable, all sleepers are interchangeable, all baggage cars are interchangeable, all observation cars are interchangeable, etc. All caboose are ultimately interchangeable, even though they really shouldn't be between railroads. And yeah, these other things aren't supposed to necessarily be interchangeable between railways. But point is, this is just to make sure that everything goes back to where it belongs, because this keeps track of everything, including empties. Because it's just cars. The car loads is a little bit more involved. Um, it's a little bit more fleshed out, and it works. I mean, you have all of these things, which, you know, uh, I could actually probably have this work a little bit more um, automatically, where it would search up the different commodities based on what's in here. But instead, I think I'm just going to keep adding them manually because I don't have to add a commodity very often. But we have all of the commodities. I mean, and these sum up uh, the previous page, which is industries here. So, if, for example, I say that the coal transfer here is instead going to be taking in a million lumps of coal, then it shows 14.43 carloads, which is fine. As a producer industry, or this is the coal transfer producing 14.43. Mason Valley coal transfer. This is coming off the narrow gauge, right? This is coming off the narrow gauge. Yeah, that's right. Um, and so now you have uh, the coal, and you see these two things, which this 14 or so carloads, or this 14.5 carloads, is driven by that. Um, it's actually a poor example because of how interconnected those are, but you'll notice that it's gone now. There's a leftover supply of 2,500 units of coal. Um, yeah, but this is the table that I need to work to fill out because this is where is stuff coming from and where is stuff going, and I have a general idea of where the stuff is coming from, where the stuff is going. The thing that I'd like to define in this map is where exactly these zones are. I mean, obviously GMRR is just a zone in and of itself. It's small enough that it's one zone. And this is probably going to have to be added as a zone, but it's probably going to actually be included in the Bellington sort of zone. I think Pan Am is included in the Bellington zone. Um, and then everything on this side is going to be Gilson City. So Tombstone Zone is going to include the entire 2-foot, and then Gilson City is just this whole area. The Meridian Isles, its own thing. Although maybe I should merge those two. I don't totally know, but that's why I want to sort of circle what regions are what, so I know where stuff is coming from and I know where stuff is going. And yes, this is sort of supposed to be for if I ever, when I set the trains up, but I have switch lists to keep track of the trains that I've set up. And this is actually not a great way that this is done because of the way it copies stuff in for the producers and consumers. If anything gets added, um, then I have to manually shift everything down, which is less than ideal. It's not good. Um, if anything gets added on here or on here, this ends up shifting, but it doesn't take the rest of this with it. So then I have to go, okay, where is the gap? And then I need to put a thing in. Now, we shouldn't necessarily be adding stuff all the time, but there will be periods. What the heck? There will be periods where are you watching the stream right now? Graham. Graham sent me a meme of himself. Uh, over text, mind you. Get rid of that for a second. Put this thing back in the right order. Yes, rest in peace, Pan Am. Because I want to fill this out. So I'm not sure if I should be filling this out now, or if I should be filling this out later when I have all this stuff worked up. Because, yeah, there isn't going to be any rail. Actually, that's right. There's not going to be any railcar balance for the for the there's not going to be any railcar balance for the GMRR because they're all narrow gauge. You're not trading cars. Thank you, Brain, for finally figuring it out. And all of these cars are assigned specific commodities that they go with. So if I keep track of the commodity distribution, the railcar distribution, at least for the fulls, should follow. But that means I have to. Excuse me. That means I have to. Figure this out. And some of the stuff I feel like is fairly straightforward, but some of it is definitely not. I mean, diesel fuel, the refineries are in Wombeck, so we know the diesel fuel is going to come from Wombeck. The General Auto parts. Oh, I guess no, we do have General Auto parts as a commodity. Those are coming from the mills in Zion. We know that. The general goods stuff, these are getting exchanged. The standard gauge ones are getting exchanged in Gilson City. It's the Great Goods Exchange. It's going to be, taking in that and putting out that. But it's a question of me marking this down now when I only have one zone built doesn't really matter. Like, it doesn't help make sure that my decisions are good, because uh, it doesn't describe what's made in the route. It's just me being, it's just me filling out a table. I feel like I've got to wait. I've got to wait until I'm there before I can start marking these off, because right now this is all accurate. I mean, it's all just in olive, and all of these, these are all going to have their own sections. Oh, you know what? I just realized this. It's going to be looking in. It's going to be looking in Industries LL, Industries NN. It has to be looking only in the olive section, so we'll have to change that later. Right now, it doesn't matter because that's the only thing we've got. Oh, you know what? We don't have this, the narrow gauge stuff. So we probably should start doing that. In fact, let me try to do that right now. Industries LL. The range has actually got to be. Well, let me go into the other page with it. This is commodity balance D6, which is consumed, which is, it was LL, so it was looking in here. And we have to mark this off like this. And then industries NN has got to be more or less the same thing. So we're talking N10 to N67. And that shouldn't fundamentally change things. This just needs to be the same. Oh, wait, no, it doesn't need to be the same because these are slightly different in terms of size. We've got or fewer producers than consumers. Producers goes from 9 to 39. D9 to D39. And then F9 to F39. And I can take both of these, and this really shouldn't change anything. But I'm going to just go down and do that anyway. Did we have formatting there that we can't see anymore? No. Oh, you know what? It doesn't do the coal. That is the change. Because the coal NG obviously is not going to show up. The narrow gauge stuff isn't going to show up here. It's got to be on its own thing. So we actually have to make a spot for that. And while we're here, I mean, why not? Let's do it. So, GMRR, produced, consumed, carloads, commodity, Billington, Gilson City. None of the stuff is going to be going to itself. Meridian, Olive, Tombstone, Skyline, Summit, Walmbeck, Zion. And then the 3 off-map locations, Akron, New DMAG, and Jefferson. And let's also finish marking these off here. Why is Tombstone... I messed up. I forgot how... I forgot how the alphabet works. S comes before T, guys. S comes before T. There we go. Alright, good night, Brian. Skyline is N-A, Summit is N-A, Tombstone is N-A, Walmbeck is N-A, Zion is N-A. I also probably could make this a little bit narrower by omitting that column. It just doesn't strike me as a super necessity. Maybe I'll do that later. Can tighten that up anyway. Oh, not that though. That apparently was too narrow. So we were supposed to do a GMRR one. This is the first time we actually will have a something, you know. So we've got general goods in crate, logs, coal, general goods outbox. So we've got 4 things, and these lines in it, Chief. We gotta fix the lines. We gotta put this down there. We gotta put this up here. We gotta fix this. There we go. Yeah, we should be good. Oh, wait, I need one more, don't I? Uh, yeah, I've got 4. So, start one row above. I actually have to delete this row, or I'm gonna copy it anyway. Coal NG. Oh, and you know what? These other commodities are already here. That's right. General goods, general goods. I could have just moved them onto, like, I could have dragged the whole row. That's something you can do here, but not there. Oh, wait, do we not have a logs NG? We were just using regular logs, weren't we? See, everything has to be marked for its narrow gauge counterpart. If we don't do that, it makes it look like the things are totally interchangeable, and they're not. Like, yes, they are the same commodity, but they're not interchangeable. So this has got to be log. Oh wait, is this even logs? Oh shucks, what the heck was that? Get out of here. Logs ng, and I don't even think I have logs ng written down over here. Oh, I do actually. Oh, I take that back. Um. Well, at least that will do that automatically. At least we know I can have it do that automatically. All right. And then logs. Oops. Turn off the bold, please. Logs ng. And then what I want to do is set this. Yup. I want to set these two, except instead of having these look up those locations, I need them to do 5 and 6 on the one hand. And why does that say check? Why does that say check? I wrote check and I don't remember why. Is that the only thing that says check next to it? Why did I write check there? Keep expanding the route borders until none of the cities are off map. Yeah. Um. Why does that say check? It's the coal transfer. What is that? I think it's just to make sure that I set up the industry right. That might be it. Which I suppose we can go check. Because I might not have. That might be why. I should have just grabbed my to-do list and gone off of that. MV coal transfer. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm going to have to set the start amount to 0. I don't really know about this. I don't know about this coal transfer. I don't know how well this is going to work. Also, I think the hoppers that we use are too tall. So they're 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 not too tall, but they're almost too tall and they're almost too wide. But we'll have to cross that bridge when we come to it. Um, oh yeah, so this has to be 5 and 6. 5, 6, 5, 6. And then this has to be 5 and what? 8? 5, 8? Yeah, 5, 8. 5, 8. 5, 8. And that seems to have worked. It consumes 14 carloads of coal. Is that so? I mean, I guess that makes sense, doesn't it? We've got, and this is we're talking narrow gauge carloads. Yeah, we've got 4 carloads in the bleachery and 10 carloads in the coal dock. That's a lot of coal that's actually got to come in here. I mean, a lot, relatively speaking, a lot for a narrow gauge. Um, and then these things are all going to be relatively straightforward. Like they'll just work. And then we just gotta grab 4 from here. Because that just does very basic math. So, yeah. Now we've set up a thing for the GMRR. We don't need to worry about them exchanging cards with anyone because they don't. We don't need to worry about them, you know, intermingling commodities necessarily because those will all be intermediated. Mediated through buildings. You know, this counts as being GMRR. If there's any sort of like, you know what? Let's try this again. Say we have the log or the not the log transfer. We have the coal dock, right, or the coal transfer, which the coal transfer goes in on the narrow gauge side and comes out on the Mason Valley side, which is right here. And so this should actually be equals this. And I can set that to, that's too dark. There we go. Yeah, there we go. And so I can say, okay, so we'll drop off a carload. So let's drop off. Why is 80? Oh wait, that's the wrong thing. Oh crap! Did I set that to the wrong thing? Hold on. No, I didn't. 864,000. Or say if we say what is a carload? 27 27270. We have a carload, right? Dropped off into there. And then we have 0.39 of a carload dropped off into there. And on the commodity balance, you know what, let's just do 3 carloads. So like 60,000 or 80,000. 85,000. Close enough. A little bit more than 3 carloads, a little bit more than 1 carload. And so we see like, okay, yeah, some of this is going this way, and the distribution is minus 3 carloads, or sorry, 3 carloads going to olive. And we see over here, GMRR, like -1 carloads. Oh, that's ammonia. Dull. -1 carloads going here, and so that brings it back down. Now it won't be perfect on this coal transfer because least common denominator is going to try to it's going to screw us over. But this, give me this. These aren't doing anything anymore. It'll be easier to match with the simpler stuff. The coal is going to be kind of difficult unless we're moving a lot of coal. And let me just do some quick math about this, because what are the least common multiples for these two values? Least common multiple. Let's see. So one of our carloads, oh, we can actually see them both on here. One of our carloads is 27270. So let's do 27270. And the other one, which is like 58 something, right? Coal. Oh, it's 69294. This is going to end up being an absurdly huge number. 69294. 69294. Calculate. Okay, only 13 million. Or 314 million. Okay, well, we're gonna have to figure something out about this. How many carloads is this? Hold on. Divided by... I'm sorry, that's 11,000 carloads. Well, I don't think we'll be managing that. So we're gonna have to find something close. Um, hmm. I expected it to be bad. I did not expect it to be that bad. That's real bad. Um, hmm. I mean, this is about a third of this. If we just, hmm. I mean, let's just do another quick. Let me reopen that really quick. I need that. Give me those. Let's just do another quick thing. Let's go on the. Like only 10,000 carloads. It's not that big of a deal. A day. Um, industry calculator. All right. These are both numbers. Please format as numbers. Without the. Yeah. Why did you format like that? So, one, two, three, and then this equals this times this. And we're going to lock this value in. Click. And then we're going to do this minus this. And it's going to be the same thing. What the heck? Set it to P. Oh, shucks. Hold on. Let me move that down. Alright, so 5 to 2 is not bad. Um, what about, like, 3 to, no. What about, like, 4 to 8? 3 to 8? 3 to 8 is not terrible. Um, 4, 5, no, 4 is good. Um, the closest one so far has been a ratio of 5 to 2. Which, yeah, I guess that's not terrible. Hmm. I mean, it only gives us an excess of 2238, which, I mean, actually, is this an excess? Because no, it's actually a shortage, which is not really what I want. I want a tiny excess is what I want. Um, which means I need to find one with like a very small positive number. So like this one, like 18 to 7, with a 5,000 positive number. I mean, I suppose I can change the rates on them separately to make it perfect, but I assume the coal transfer just doesn't work. I need to experiment with this. I need to experiment with this. I assume it doesn't work if it doesn't have any coal in it, but I haven't dicked around with it. Honestly, what I should do is just go into this map and just play with it and just see if it works. You know, we've got some coal cars here. We might as well have a loaded cut of them available and just wheel in some standard gauge coal cars and see what happens. You know? Maybe that's the smart thing to do. I just need to get a locomotive and some coal cars in here. Oh, here are some empty ones. Or some full ones. See, those need to be empty and these need to be full. And I need a locomotive over here. So let's go to seed and let's throw down 491. Tonight on bottom gear. This has no coal in it. We can see that it says 0 out of 118138. And I'm going to set these hoppers to be full. Did I set the right? We're on C, yeah. Set these hoppers to be full. Nope, please don't fill them with acetylene gas, thank you. Alright, we're going back to looking at the screen. Looking at the game. I want... So the idea was that we would have 2 Atlantics and this rail bus here, and also some sort of diesel to run the yard. And because this is a VMR, or sorry, a Gilson Eastern yard, if we look at the assets and timetables, the Gilson Eastern, as far as diesel switchers, ran NW1s and NW2s, SW1s. They had some Jeeps, GP7s and GP9s, but they mostly went with Baldwin diesels, which I don't think there are very many of on the DLS. I know the DR128 1500, that's marked as green, as in it can be reskinned. But I don't know about it going up on the DLS. And yeah, we just don't have an appropriate switcher unless we go for a Jeep, which I definitely have somewhere. Unless we just give them another SW. What's the... Didn't we put one of these over in Olive? I'm doing a midnight release for a game I pre-ordered. Oh, well, Godspeed. Cool. What game? I don't expect to get an answer to that because he's got to leave and go over to GameStop. Yeah, you. Give me you. W2. I tried to type that in, it wouldn't give me anything. Pokemon Scarlet. Cool. I didn't realize they were still making Pokemon games. I mean, I knew they were still making Pokemon games, but... Alright, Okay, so I've got to think about what locomotive would be running out of here. Part of me wants to say that this area would be all up to Gen 9. This area could be all Steam. I mean, if we go into assets and timetables, you know that they had plenty of 060s, which we haven't seen any of yet. Um, and they did even have some 080s, which I think have been reskinned and uploaded. Uh, it says they've been uploaded. If I go to on download station, not open for edit, on download station, please let me out of this window at some point. I can go to TP GRR. I think they were abbreviated TP. GR near Central Force. Wait, TPGERR. TM. Oh, that's MAT. Oh, those are available for download. Interesting. I didn't know those were available. I support a Steam switcher. AS16 on the DLS. Is an AS16 one of the? I think an AS16 is something that I wrote down, but they probably would be. Yeah, that would be a nice pickup for them. If there's an AS16, I definitely would include that in their roster of Baldwin stuff. Oh yeah, there's GERR 080s right here. Um, and this would probably be overkill, but we would have it. Please let me out of the... You know what? We're not going to be able to do anything because we're going to be stuck in this loading screen until the end of time. So, uh, it sometimes will let me go. It sometimes will. It has let me go at least once before, and let me go back to, like, the main menu. But it just gets stuck here. And I don't even know why. It's not like it's not working. It is working. Like, it's doing something. Yeah, no, I'm streaming this late because I started off wicked late. I gotta go to bed. Like I was saying about the bus, the first day I can't remember. I think the first day I was too tired. The second day I forgot to set an alarm. And the third day I was just too tired because I'd been up late from things happening in Discord. Um, but I'm stuck in the loading screen, so you know. I don't even know what it's doing. I don't know what it does. We're just here. It's chewing up 20% of my CPU doing nothing. It won't tell me what. Like, please let me out. Please let me back to the menu. I was going to go drive a train for these people. Something I never do. Why are we here? In this gulch, yeah. The only reason we have a red base here is because they have a blue base over there. The only reason they have a blue base over there is because we have a red base over here. It's not gonna let me out. I'm never gonna get to go and drive these trains. We'll have to do it next time. And you know, I'm fine with that because it's 20 of midnight, and I've had a good run, and I've been productive, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and this stream, etc. And I will see you next week. This is the